if I remember correctly, or Castleton Pride. That was 9 were obliterated. There was, I think, 1 left, and they were sneaking around trying to avoid the Mapocho. But they did kill all members of that line. There was 1 member of that Mapocho coalition that became quite famous amongst the guides and trackers in the Sabi Sands. He was often referred to as Mr. T. He had a sort of mohawk like Mr. T from the A team, but amongst the trackers he was referred to as Satan. And that is because in a particular sighting, one of the older, they weren't all the same age, there was one slightly older Mapocho, was mating with an Ottawa 2 and 6 was the name of the pride, Ottawa 2 and 6 lioness. And that Mr. T arrived, chased off the other male, killed the lioness, mated with her corpse, and then ate her. So every tracker I knew and worked in that area was like, Satan, that guy is Satan. So, but they were actually deposed and killed by the Majingalan coalition, which is now the dominant coalition in those parts. They occasionally might come on to Arathusa, but it's right at the real edge of their boundary. So I hope that helps clear up what's happening with the lion dynamics at the moment. So there is possibly some interesting times ahead with these 2 younger coalitions starting to get to the age where they're going to start pressuring the older coalitions. Come on, girls. Time to go get something to eat. Hi, Crystal. Welcome on the Sunset Safari, Crystal. Crystal would like to know, how long would a lioness leave her cubs alone for? And at what age do they sort of start joining and following with the pride? Well, Crystal, I've known lions to often leave their cubs for up to 3 or 4 days. Unusual to be longer than that, but it is possible. But obviously those cubs will start getting quite malnourished after sort of 4 days without mom. So it's normally about 3 days, normally shorter, 2 to 3 days, but I have seen 4 or 5 days, and the cubs have survived. The age that the cubs are normally introduced to the pride and start moving with the pride, then they are still sometimes left at that age, but they can start moving with the pride from about 3 months old. So I hope that helps clear that up for you, Crystal. Thanks very much for your question. So guys, it's one of those catch-22 situations. We're sitting now, we're the only vehicle with the lions. And even if we shot up to sort of go check around the treehouse, waterhole, whatnot, there is a possibility as it's getting cooler that they might move or something might pop down at the dam or to the waterhole. So it's one of those catch-22 situations. But at the moment, I think we're quite comfortable sitting here. We'll let Scotty do the running around, and that's why it's so great being able to work as a team. Well done to Chris, Donna, Gert, and Diane. And a lot of other people also got it right, but those are the first 4 in. They got the question correct to that little water bird we saw a little bit earlier on the edge of the waterhole. It was a 3-banded plover. Okay, Julia from Houston. Welcome on Sunset Safari, Julia. Julia would like to know who won the bird contest. Well, I mean, Julia, not to brag or anything, but Andrew and I definitely dominated this morning. I think we did have a little unfair advantage. We were only looking for birds, and James was lucky enough to be looking at lions as well as birds. But we were lucky enough. And apparently I have to challenge Scott next, so maybe sometime next week we can see if that can be arranged. And maybe we'll see what happens. But hopefully we can keep that going. So that was lots of fun. We really enjoyed it as well. And definitely something we might do again. Maybe I should challenge Scott next week. We'll see. Well, speaking of Scott, I think we're going to stay with these lazy lions, and we're going to pop across to Scotty, see what he's been looking for. I think he's been searching long and hard for something large, but we'll see shortly. And have a great time with Scott, and we'll come back to you, and you can come back to us and the lazy lions a little later.
Welcome back, everyone, and perfect timing. We've just seen this Burchell's Coucal fly up, and what it's doing is it's hunting for little insects. And last time we actually saw this, it chased off a grasshopper straight towards the vehicle. It was an awesome sight, and let's just wait and see what he does here. I know it's very thick, but if he does pop back up onto this branch, he's so close that we'll get some great views. I keep saying he. It's not necessarily a male, just to correct myself. It could be a female. And they're quite ferocious carnivores, these. At this time of the year, they'll feed a lot on insects and smaller animals, but in the summer months when there's a lot of birds nesting, they'll predominantly prey on the chicks of birds, and that suits their style of hunting. They like to really dig through thick bushes, searching for prey, just as it's doing now. And where has it gone? It's just gone a little bit further forward. I'm just going to drive forward a time. Oh no, it hasn't. It's still in here, and I'm just going to wait. It could pop out onto a clear perch. And it's just so close to us that I don't want to miss this opportunity to share a great view of it with you. What to do? We'll creep forward a little bit. It seems very relaxed with us, surprisingly relaxed actually. There it is. You'll notice it has bright red eyes. And incredible how it actually ferrets its way through the undergrowth, looking for potential prey. It's a francolin that's just got a big fright that you would have heard, and hopefully a leopard won't be nearby, or won't be far away rather, and that's what chased the francolin. Or it could simply be that the francolin has got a little bit excited. That's what you can hear. And will this Burchell's Coucal make a kill? Time will tell. It certainly looks very focused on whatever it is that it's looking for. I've once seen one of these birds flying out of a tree with two baby doves, one in each talon. So that gives you an idea of the range of prey they can feed on, from little grasshoppers that we saw them chasing last time I managed to share one with you, up to larger birds. It could hardly fly. It had so much cargo with those two little baby doves that the Burchell's Coucal was barely scraping the ground as it flew off. Well, we're going to leave the Burchell's Coucal to its own devices, and I'm not even sure where it's gone now. I've been so focused on the little monitor, and we're really fortunate in that Phil can zoom in so close to the animals out here. It's a privilege that the regular guests who come out here don't have. They either need to know how to use a pair of binoculars or just look at things with their own regular view. Well, that was a great sighting, and I hope you enjoyed that. Apologies, I forgot to update all of you about what happened with the vultures. And I did take a brief walk in that area, but didn't have any luck. But now, Phil has just spotted a whole lot more. Now this is going to get interesting, because that many vultures sitting in a tree, I can almost guarantee that something's there. Did those male lions kill a buffalo down there? I think they could have. It's going to be very tricky for us to get to that area, and I'm certainly going to try and take us there. So let's see what we can do. I know it's a very thick riverbed that we need to get through, but it is possible, and let's see what we can do. Awesome, well spotted, Phil. And like I said, the vultures that we saw perched in the one dead tree may have been considerably further away from the kill than these ones, but they were simply happy to wait in a comfortable place to perch themselves while they patiently wait for the predators to finish feeding, because they have to wait for the lions or whatever it is that's made the kill to finish feeding before going down to try and get a few morsels themselves. And I'm feeling quite confident that we are going to find something interesting down here. So hold tight, we're going to be doing some serious off-roading to get us down into there, but I know a way, and it's just up ahead here. So we've got a plan, and this is really exciting. I haven't managed to have the opportunity to respond to a vulture sighting like this with you before, so that's a first for me. And the reason why I know there's a little pathway that we can head down is because we've had a sighting in this area before, and I just need to remember exactly where it was that I went down. I think in my excitement, and here we go, this is the spot. And I know this can get us down into the riverbed because we found Kunuma, a young male leopard. He had just killed the duiker. We were actually looking for him here, couldn't find him, and as we were driving out, we heard the duiker squeal. And we enjoyed a great sighting of him feeding on the duiker in this jackalberry tree just off to our right. So that tree up there on that branch under my finger is where Kunuma had the duiker kill. And I know that we can squeeze our way down into the riverbed and take us to where we need to get to look for whatever these vultures are interested in. Hold tight, everyone. We really are so lucky to have these vehicles. It's incredible where they can take us. And I actually heard one or two bushbuck alarm calls while we were watching the male giraffe earlier at the start of the drive. And maybe the bushbuck had stumbled upon whatever predator has killed whatever these vultures have all swooped down to try and cash in on. Well, like I said earlier, with vultures, the kill may not necessarily be underneath the tree where they are perched. They'll simply perch themselves in the closest dead tree to wherever the action is. Now that we've dropped down into the riverbed, I can't actually see the vultures, but I know they're going to be somewhere nearby. Come on. I think we did go slightly past them, so they should be somewhere up ahead of us. Okay. I've just got a glimpse of them, so we're getting closer. Things are looking good. It's really beautiful down in here, and I hope you're all enjoying the little off-road adventure while we try and find out what has happened. I lost the male lion tracks just up on our left. They were heading kind of in this direction, and then their tracks disappeared off the road. And I couldn't see whether they went left or right off the road, but they could have come either way. And like I said, with all these vultures here, I'm confident that there's a large kill. And large kills are often made by large animals, like two dominant male lions. Our luck run out.
Right ahead of us in the tree.
Thanks, Phil. So the vultures are just ahead of us, but we need to try and find a little pathway through here. And it looks like there's one here. We are so close, so don't go anywhere. Whatever you're doing or we're planning on doing, stop, because we're about to reveal, I'm hoping, something very, very exciting. Thanks, Phil. It's getting tricky in here, but we're going to make it. It's just going to require a little bit of weaving about. The tree in front of us is very, very thorny, and we don't want to get caught up on it. There's a lot of quite steep riverbeds here that are going to make it tricky for me to get through, but we're so close to them. I don't want you to go anywhere until we make our way just a few more meters across a little riverbed. but it's getting very steep here, so I'm going to have to reassess the route. This sorry? I'm thinking, everyone, is because we have come to a dead end here, I'm not sure how long it's going to take me to find an easier path to cross, that we are sadly going to have to link back to Brent. I'd love to join you in on this, but I feel like I need to just concentrate on getting around to those vultures. They're just sitting up on our right-hand side here, so we're very close, but we can't get there with the vehicle there very easily. So you can see the vultures there, and we're going to give you an update in a few minutes. It shouldn't take us long to get across there. But in the meantime, over to Brent, and we'll hopefully have some good news for you in just a few moments.
Welcome back, everyone. We're playing round and round the mulberry bush with the lions. Just every time you come back, we try to get into a different spot. Really exciting. I hope Scotty gets something with those vultures. So fingers crossed that Scotty can find something. Hopefully the vultures have located something that is retired permanently. But we're still with these very, very lazy cats. Andrew is now trying to be very arty with the sun and the lions and the bush, but it is getting at the time that they did stretch a little bit, not much, but hopefully they will think about starting to move shortly. Looting Wimford. Kunyuma went back, huh? West. I mean, east. Okay. And Lut. I heard he's been in a fight. Big cut.
Yeah, but not getting inside. It's only from the skin.
Okay. Thanks, Orbs. So guys, I don't know if you heard that. There's a bit of an update on Kunyuma, who I think most of you will know, who've been watching a long time, is my favorite leopard. He was seen about 600 meters to the east of our boundary this morning, and it looks like he's been in a big fight. So possibly on his wonders, he's encountered a male who did not take too kindly to his presence in the territory, and he has been injured. Aubrey says it's a big cut, but it's not a deep one, so very superficial. So hopefully he'll recover from that quite quickly. I'm hoping he'll come back this side so we get a chance to see him and assess those injuries for ourselves. Beautiful shot, Andrew.
Thank you.
Hi, Heath, from Dayton's Children's Hospital in Ohio. Heath is 6 years old, and Heath has got a question for us here. Heath would like to know, are these two lions lost from their mommies and daddies? Well, Heath, both of these lions are big, and they're both possibly mommies. The one is definitely a mommy. The one's got three very small babies that she's hidden in a safe place a couple of miles from here, and she hides them there when she goes out hunting, and then she'll go back to feed them later. So they're not lost. They know exactly where they are. They are looking for some food, and then I'm quite sure they'll go back to the babies. Thanks very much for your question, Heath. So, lazy lions. Come on, time to get up, time to get busy. Hi, Grace from Dallas. Welcome on the Sunset Safari with the Styx lions and the setting sun. Grace would like to know, when these pride takeovers take place, do they happen at once, so the males are coming and kill all the members at once, or does it happen gradually? Grace, it completely depends also on the size of the pride, but normally it does happen over time that those animals will be killed, and it doesn't happen every time. So obviously the male lions don't want to kill all the females in the area, because they will want to mate with them at some point to sow their seed and get their genetics into the system. So it will just happen generally with females that are very unreceptive to mating. They could have had cubs recently, or they just don't like those lions. It's very difficult to say exactly why, but it's normally a gradual process of the pride being wiped out. It can happen if they catch them on a big kill or something, that it can happen immediately, and 3 or 4 will be killed at once, but then maybe it'll take some time for the others to be picked off. And also what happens is that also creates a vacuum, and other lionesses might move into that area, and they would also kill those remaining pride members if given the opportunity to. Very lazy lions. Oh. R2-D2's on fire this evening. Welcome on the Sunset Safari, Liberty. Liberty would like to know, would lion, leopard, cheetah or hyena take on a cub from the same breed or from a different breed? Liberty, I'm not 100% sure what you're asking there, but I'm saying, well, with the pride of lions, if you have 2 females that have cubs at the same time or at a similar time, they will share the nursing, so she will let her cubs suckle, and so if the mother did die, there is a possibility she would take over the nursing of those cubs. With leopard, a very interesting question that with leopard. We'll come back to leopard because there's quite a long story attached to the leopard. With hyenas, definitely not. If the mother died or passed away, another hyena would not take on the cub. And what was the other one? Cheetah. Cheetah would only look after their actual cubs. They would not adopt. Now, as a norm, a leopard will never adopt another cub from another individual. But I was working in the south of the Sabi Sands, and we watched a very, very interesting thing. I was actually there, present at the sort of adoption. There was a female leopard we used to call 3-4. She was a very old leopard, and she had a daughter called the Dudley Riverbank female. And what happened is that Dudley Riverbank had 2 young male cubs. They weren't that young at that stage. They were probably close on 12, 13 months. Oh, looks like we've got some movement behind us, but I'll keep telling you about the leopard story. Oh, lots of movement. Stand up, sit down. So they were about 12 or 13 months old, possibly even a little bit older. My memory's getting a bit fuzzy. It was quite a few years ago. And what happened was that the mother and daughter met in a drainage line called the Tugwan drainage, and they basically, the one young male swapped over to his grandmother, and the other young male stayed with his mother. And that was the first ever recorded case of leopard adoption, as far as I'm aware. So, but they were already quite old. They weren't suckling at all. They were feeding on meat by that stage. But with adoption, that's the only case I know of with leopard. And as if I remember correctly, I read there was a paper published on it, and that is the only case of leopard adoption recorded in the wild. When it comes to adopting from another species, all of those animals, there have been lots of little clips that do the internet. I think there's quite a famous one from Kenya with a group of quite a big group of male cheetah, I think 4 or 5, and it looks like they adopted a baby Thompson's gazelle. They didn't. They were playing with it, and the very nice, cute video that does the rounds on the internet is all of them like looking after it and playing with it, and not very rough and whatnot. They did eat it though. And I've seen the case with a leopard and a vervet monkey, leopard and baboons. They kept a baby around for as long as nearly a day, the one case, but they did still eat it. I don't think it was adopting to look after the monkey. It was just playing like a cat plays with a mouse. Thank you very much for that question. Sorry, I'm just listening to R2D2 for a second. Hi, Ruth from Costa Rica. Are you sitting on the beach at the moment, Ruth? Beautiful country, Costa Rica. Amazing birding as well. But Ruth would like to know what would happen if the Styx lionesses had happened to meet the Inca. There are only 2 Styx lionesses and there are 8 Incahumas. It wouldn't be a very fair fight. And oh, look at this. Quickly, the Franklin are just meandering past the lions, paying no notice. Oh, crested Franklin. Oh. Oh, there's a lion there. Sorry about that, dude. As I said, if these guys happen to come across the Incahumas or vice versa, the Incahumas with 8 animals in there would be in a very big advantage. If they got hold of these lionesses, they would try to kill them, but more than likely, these lionesses would run away very quickly. Thanks very much for your question, Ruth, from Costa Rica. Just going to wait for orbs to move, and then we're going to move, so maybe we can see a bit of that grooming. I'm the only vehicle at the lines now. That means I unfortunately have to turn up R2D2 in case someone else wants to come here. But it looks like it's moving time. Hello, girls. So here I know we speak about it a lot, but here's this allo grooming, very, very important, this social grooming in lions.
All brief for Mike.
Alright, Mike.
Yeah, of what time and where are you having put us up? Would like to come and join you, please.
Oh. So very important, this.
Confirm,
Very nice grooming.
Okay, copy. Well, please hold it.
So you can't hear, I don't know if you can hear the licking. You just keep quiet for a second. Andrew says, unfortunately, we can't hear the licking with over the mic, but it's quite an interesting sound. Now imagine a lion's tongue is like a piece of sandpaper. If they had to lick my arm, it would take the skin off if they kept licking in the same place. So imagine rubbing a piece of sandpaper on your body, and that's what a lion's tongue feels like. Another terribly tough day in the office today for us. I mean, this morning chasing birds, today spending a wonderful afternoon with lions, even though they have been sleeping. And there we can see a bit of defleeing going on. So that movement that they're doing there is to, oh, she stopped now, but hopefully she'll do it again. There we go. See that? She's not only flees, but also with the ticks. As she gets hold of a tick, we might even see some little blood spurts on the skin after that. And she's actually biting or killing the ticks that are on the other individual. Looks like copy, thanks very much, Orbs. So Aubrey just left and he said there are 2 warthogs heading our way from the other side of the dam. So hopefully they're up now and a little bit more aware. King pigeons. Now, their heads are up. I'm not quite sure which direction those pigs are going to come from. As I said, we do often see warthog here, and there's that wonderful favourite.
From this side. I saw them move there.
Did you see them?
Yeah.
They're behind us?
Yeah.
Did they see the lions yet?
No, I don't think so.
But I think their hole is somewhere in this block behind us. No, I think they've spotted the lions. They're running. I can see them jogging through. Oh, dear. It pays to be vigilant if you're a prey species out here. So if any of you are new and you hear that clickety-click, clickety-click, that's just my camera. Taking a few pictures. Oh, big stretch. They're walking right up close to us. Don't move. So they're literally less than 2 feet away from Andrew on the back there. The one bit of bad news I've got is they're heading the wrong way, in my opinion. They're heading back towards our boundary. Zingala are starting to get mobile. Big stretches, bit of scent marking going on. She's walking straight at the vehicle. You can see she takes almost and pays no attention to this vehicle. Don't go that way. That's a bad way. Come, go further west. Good girl. See, they're even listening to me today. So actually heading into the area where those warthogs ran off. For those of you who might have just logged in or are new, you're on a live African safari on the back of my vehicle following lions moving at sunset in Djuma Private Game Reserve in South Africa. We also are interactive. You can email us and ask us about what we're doing with questions. You can do that by emailing questions@wildearth.tv, or you can use the hashtag Safari Live if you're on Twitter. So low range engaged, and we might, if they keep going in that westerly direction, they might head towards eventually Treehouse Waterhole. So that one lioness is displaying. Is she still doing it? Yes, there we go. There we go. Hello, girlies. So they are both quite hungry. Definitely now setting off on the hunt, and hopefully we're going to be able to stay with them while they're hunting. No, further west. Don't go south. Wind's died down, so they've lost that little advantage that they had, but obviously they are still the apex predators around here. And I'm just going to try and get up ahead of them. Keep quiet and listen carefully. We might even hear their footsteps as they move through this dry bush. Isn't this incredible? There's the second lioness, still coming. This is quite good hunting area for them. So there's a lot of small scrub around, and hopefully for them they'll be able to spot something like a kudu or zebra or wildebeest before the prey species spots them. So there's quite a lot of good cover here. See what this lion's doing. It's called phlegmon, or the phlegmon reflex. She's probably smelling the urine of the other lioness, and what she does is she takes that scent over her. There's a small hole in the back of the mouth. We have them in our mouth. If you go, that little hole in the top of your mouth. Ours is now redundant. It's called the Jacobson's organ. Here we go, perfect there. So she's drawing the scent over that organ, and that is feeding her information. It's a form of communication with a lot of animals. You might have seen horses do it. The big cats also do it, and it's called phlegmon. So various information might be passed on through urine, age, whether they're coming to estrus or not. So specifically with male and females, it is quite important, and you'll see the males do it a lot more than the females normally. So quite typical lion behavior, to move and then lay down and stop for a little bit, but I think they are going to get up and move again. Oh, lazy kitties. So they walked a sum total, obviously watch my head, of about a sum total of about 100 meters, 150 maybe. So still a very still evening, not even a bird's chirping. She looks like she might have heard something. Nope. Lazy lions. So on average, lions will sleep for about 20 hours a day. And that's because of the way they're designed. They're designed for bouts of incredible speed, and they have huge latent energy, but they will run and they'll only be able to keep up that speed for a very short time, and then they need to rest and recuperate before they're able to utilize that huge burst of energy again. Keeps looking like she might have heard something or smelt something, or not smelt, definitely heard or seen. Andrew, can you have a look over your shoulder, see if you can see anything down there?
There we go.
Oh, guys, we're going to cross across to Scotty quickly. He's got something that's quite interesting, something that we started on. Do you remember our first shot that we started on? It's something to do with that buffalo bad. So over to Scotty, and we'll stick with these cats. Hopefully they get up to something a little bit later, and we'll see you just now.
Well, sadly, no luck finding whatever it is those vultures were interested in. Perhaps they were simply overnighting in that dead tree, but it was very, very thick in there, so there is a chance that maybe the lion have made a kill, or something has made a kill, but we just couldn't find it. So a little bit frustrating, but it was really exciting. And now what a beautiful view of this herd of buffalo. They've just made their way up from the Djuma Dam, where you would have been able to see them on the Djuma waterhole, and they're all grazing together in a long line. There are there's about 25 of them roughly. I just did a very vague count, but Phil cannot take you in for a closer tour of them. They're all really big old bulls. You could say that they are almost retirees, no longer interested in covering huge distances following the females and the large herds, which do cover great distances in order to find enough food for all the hungry mouths, as well as keep away from lion. Lion will often trail large herds of buffalo because the young calves and older mothers provide easier targets than these big old boys. And it sounds like you're having a wonderful afternoon with Brent and the two lionesses. And let's hope they get active and show us some of their hunting skills a little bit later. It would be very difficult for two lionesses to bring down an adult buffalo bull. I'm sure it's happened, but it's quite a large quarry for them. They would prefer smaller prey like impala or nyala and kudu. Bigger prides of lioness would be able to take these down, or big males, big male lions. This is one of their toughest prey items to take down, and very risky. They've got incredible power, and the horns can cause some fairly severe damage to lion if they're not careful. I once saw a lioness getting tossed into the air by a buffalo, and she did about 3 somersaults before she hit the ground. And that gives you an idea of just how powerful they are, tossing a 100+ kilogram animal, over 200 pounds, into the air as if it was a little rag doll. The wind is still fairly strong, but it has died down a little bit, and it's turned into a beautiful evening. There's an awesome glow on that eastern horizon that we are looking out to. Good evening, Donna. And Donna sent her question through on Twitter. Donna would like to know if these are all dugger boys. And yes, Donna, they are. And for those of you who may not know what dugger boys are, it's a term used to refer to old buffalo bulls. And there's a few different theories as to how that name came about, but dugger is a name for cement in South Africa, and as you can see on this individual, It looks like it's almost caked in cement, and that is how they got their names. It's also got some mud on its horn. It couldn't have walked into frame at a better time. So that is why they are called Dugger Boys, or Cement Boys, I guess. And it's just a strange name that's stuck for them. I can hear some impala alarm calling. It could simply be because of the end of the rutting season. And they do let off a part of their alarm call as they chase one another about. So I'm just trying to listen carefully now. No, this is sounding good. This is sounding like it's not just the rutting call, so we're gonna head on up there quickly and try and have a look. Sorry, Buffalo. I'm trying to have a look and see if we can find what this impala is shouting. All of these are completely relaxed, these impala that we're driving past now, but the alarm calls are coming from a little bit further on. It could very well be... Oh no, it's him. It's too late to be running around chasing, ladies. You've missed the boats. But that's who got me excited, and well done to Phil on following it through there. And in all likelihood, this impala just thinks that it's in charge of the herd, but there's no more mating going on now. It's a very short period that impala will mate in, and what that does is it ensures that they flood the markets with young, giving the predators only a very short window period to capitalize on small impala lambs. And that's the alarm call of an impala. Even though it's not alarm calling now, it's just shouting, probably out of frustration because none of these ladies want to mate with him. Okay, folks, well, it sounds like the lioness are slowly moving closer to our southern boundary, so I think it's going to certainly be worth crossing back to Brent and enjoying a few more moments with those lioness, and we'll see you all a bit later.
Welcome back, guys. Unfortunately, these lionesses are heading towards our boundary. We're very close. We're actually almost on the boundary now, and they're just off to the right of me here. They just laid down, but they were moving, so we came across quickly before. We thought they might jump across, but they've stopped again. But their general direction has been sort of south. So we're going to stay with them for as long as we possibly can. The wind's picking up, which will be good for them for hunting. I can't see the second lioness. Can you, Andrew? Oh, there we go. I just can't see her from where I am. She's also lying down. Oh, big yawn. But they are very, very close to the boundary. Very typical lion behavior. Get up, walk, lie down, get up, walk, lie down. Johan, nice to hear from you. Oh, there we go. Sorry, the lines have come back together. Johan would like to know, where's the rest of the pride? Just to let you guys know, Johan is a landowner, so we see him on game drive quite often out here. So nice to know he's keeping tabs even while he's not in the bush. Johan, this is the 2 sticks lionesses. So as far as I know, this is all of them for now. I'm just going to move quickly. And the Inkahumas crossed into the Manyaneti this morning from the last I heard on Buffalo's Hook. But yeah, we're with the 2 sticks lionesses, and we're on our southern boundary, probably about 200 meters to the west of the Twin Dams junction with Gowrie, Maine. So what I am hoping is that these lions are not going to walk straight across. They might go down the road for a little bit, and hopefully they find something. Thanks very much for your question, Johan. Nice to hear from you. Such beautiful animals. You can see those muscles. So if you guys are holding on tight, might go through a bit of a bump. I'm going to try get ahead of them. Shanae, welcome on the Sunset Safari. Shanae would like to know, do I think the male lions favor a particular pride of females over another pride, like a guy would favor a particular girl? Well, Shanae, I think with lions it's a little more base than that. I think they constantly patrol, but the most important thing is that they will be always checking to which pride's got a female and estrus, and I think then that will become their focus for that period of mating. Other than that, I think they move quite regularly between all the different prides because it covers their territory, and they're obviously trying to watch for interloping male lions. Oh, it's tired again already. So they're walking into the wind, which is quite good for them. The wind's picked up again. Keep checking behind me, see if there's... Sometimes we see a lone wildebeest in this area. She's doing a bit of scent marking. Letting all the other lions know that this is her spot. Hi Anna, welcome on the Sunset Safari. Anna would like to know, do we know how far away the cubs are from here? Anna, the last I heard, the den site that they're using is probably 1.5 kilometers or so from here. Maybe a little bit further, 2 kilometers. But in that drainage line, if we look past the lines, you can see how the road disappears into a low area. area. There's a dry riverbed there, and in that dry riverbed, probably a kilometre or so to the south of where we are now. All these corrugations giving us a nice bumpy ride. Sorry about that, Andrew. I can't really help the state of the road. Trying to find the smoothest spot to drive in. There. Lift that up.
You maybe want to go back off when I use the zoom.
I got a feeling there's a road that cuts off to my west here. I thought they do this route quite often. Bye, lions. We'll take one last question from Sarah from New York before the lions disappear to the south. I had a feeling they use this route quite often, and she would like to know whether they are mother and daughter or sisters. As far as I'm aware, they are sisters, and they've broken away from the bigger Styx pride. They might come back onto the road behind us, I'm hoping, but it does look like the one is definitely crossed further into the property to the south of us. Hopefully they come back to the road. Come right, turn right. I was hoping they were going to walk up here and then head towards Weaver's Nest. Ooh, what's going on? Ears just picked up. No. Come on, come this way. Yay! Good girls. See, if they cross this parallel in front of us, they're going to head deeper into our Traverse area. So go across the road. Across the road. Please. No, they're going to keep up the boundary by the looks of things. Andrew, you keep checking behind us, see if there's an impala or wildebeest. We see a lone wildebeest in this area quite often. Hi, Nigel. Welcome on Sunset Safari. Nigel would like to know, what do I think the chances are of them rejoining the main pride, or is that unlikely now that they've got cubs? Well, Nigel, they've been away from the main pride for quite a long time. I think if they came into contact with the main pride, they might not fight, but they have been away for quite a long time. And I think a lot of those bonds have been severed. The bonds that are formed during that sort of social grooming we speak about so often. But I think it's unlikely. I don't think they would try and murder each other just yet. But in another year or two, and if this pride grows, it would definitely become very distinct from the original pride. Oh, lazy guy. Lovely, soft, late afternoon light. So again, you see the lines, walk a little bit, lie down a little bit, walk a little bit, lie down a little bit. Not to say at certain times they can really just walk miles, but generally if they're hunting or moving, they will stop and start quite a lot. Hi, Carolyn from Texas. Carolyn's wondering about these short that look like side roads that cut off this main boundary road there. You can see one behind the lines. Those are not roads, Carolyn. Those are what we call mitre drains, and they are to stop erosion. So when it rains, obviously a road like this, a lot of the water will flow down, taking topsoil with it. So these drains are designed to take the water off the road so it doesn't erode into a sort of an erosion gully down here that you wouldn't be able to drive. So it's a maintenance function for the roads. Hope that sorts that out for you there, Karen. Those are mitre drains. And we are on the move again. Nope. Not very far. Sorry, R2's calling me. Go ahead, Mike.
Brent, are you in the garden lock in the space for
As for Mike, make your way. I'm the only vehicle here. They've now moved. Just keep coming on Gowrie Main, just to the west of Weaver's Nest Junction.
Copy on, and just coming past from there. Be there shortly.
Copy. Guys, we're going to cross across to Scotty, who's got something really beautiful to show you, and we're going to stick with these lines, and if they move again, we'll be right back. So have some fun with Scott.
Welcome back, everyone, and sorry to steal you away from Brent and the lioness, but we thought we'd take this moment while they lay down to show you an absolutely beautiful view out to the west. Those are the Drakensberg mountain range that you can see. And what an evening it is here in the Sabi Sands at Djuma. You may notice one or two lights at the foothills of that mountain range, and sadly the reserve doesn't make it all the way to those mountains, and that's why you can see some lights. Absolutely wonderful evening here, and so happy to hear that the lion came back after crossing south out of our property. They pleasantly surprised all of us by turning back And I'm just going to keep quiet for a moment or two and we can listen to the sounds of the bush. It's fairly quiet now, but we never know what may call. Hyena or lion are likely to start calling at this stage of the evening, so let's see what happens. Now, I can't share anything, and there may be a few factors. The animals aren't calling, obviously being one of them. And another is the wind. If anything was to call upwind from us, their sound would be blown towards us, but anything calling downwind from us, we won't be able to hear because the wind will be transporting that audio in the wrong direction. We're in a fairly open clearing here called the Impala Plains, and it's one of the great vantage points we have out to the west. And we specifically came here to enjoy this view and share it with you for lack of better plans. On two accounts this afternoon, I found myself getting very excited. Initially for the vultures, and we didn't come up with anything there, but there's not to say that we may not find something there tomorrow. And then secondly, with the impala alarm calls, that was just an impala rutting, or getting frustrated by all those ladies who probably had wanted nothing to do with him. It sounds like the lions may be beginning to start moving again, so I think it makes sense for you to all jump on the back of Brent's vehicle now, and we'll catch up with you a little bit later.
Welcome back, guys. The girls have hardly moved. They're still lying on the road. Very, as I've been saying, very normal lions. Don't move too far before having a rest. I'm really hoping they decide to head north into our traverse area. We have found tracks of them quite a lot around Treehouse Waterhole, and I'm hoping they're going to start spending a bit more time, possibly a bit further north, especially when the cubs are a little bit older. So it's still a very still evening. The wind is picking up a bit. Good hunting weather. But they should probably try and move before that moon comes out and makes it a bit more difficult for them. Napping during prime time. You can hear that wind rustling. So if you hear a young lady chattering, if you guys can hear that, that is Mike and Candice and their daughter Kaylin from Juma, who've popped out that they don't have any guests on the vehicle. And isn't that a wonderful way to grow up? I know I grew up the same way, to be able to pop out with your folks and go look at some lions. There they are. And waving hello to everyone out there. So we're hoping Kaylin's going to be a great ambassador for wildlife, and that she grows up. Will have amazing experiences through her life living in a reserve like this. And lucky to have such cool parents.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers, guys. Have a good evening.
You too.
Hi, Cindy from Tennessee. Cindy says she notices the lions occasionally smelling a bush on the side of the road. What are they smelling? Are they smelling another animal's scent mark? And what would a leopard scent mark mean to the lions if they smelt it? Cindy, sorry, I just had to move the vehicle there for a second. Cindy, what it would mean is that, they're possibly smelling other lion scent marks. The male lions mark along this road quite frequently, and so do they. So they could be checking their scent marks, whether they should mark them again, or should they just move on. And if they do smell a leopard scent mark, they'll probably ignore it completely. Get the lights in the right place. How's that, Andrew?
Very good.
Perfect, thank you.
Open lane towards nothing then. Yep.
R2D2's at it again. Any station on the east, copy?
Yeah.
Just for your information, the two, I think, sticks, mafazis, are lying up on Gari Main, about 100 meters to the west of the Weaver's Nest Junction. So about 500, 600 meters from the drainage line at Baboon Pine.
I got Brent, I'm on my way.
So we've been really, really spoiled spending so much time with these girls without too many other people around us today. They've all been off in search of leopards and elephants and things, and we were lucky enough to be able to spend our whole afternoon with these beautiful Styx lionesses. Hello. they keep pretending to get moving. And I keep starting the car and getting ready to reverse up the road, and they move a meter or two. But that is lions for you. I definitely think they're going to hunt this evening, just judging from their stomachs. They might be waiting for it to get a bit darker, but they are not very hungry, but they definitely could do with a meal. Hi, Angela from Boston. Angela would like to know, do these cats ever get annoyed with the constant vehicles following them? Angela, if you drive badly, yes, of course they'll get annoyed. You'll notice quite often we don't drive at them, we drive at oblique angles. Also, these particular lions and most of the animals here in the Sabi Sands have grown up with vehicles, so they don't really see them as a threat or whatnot. But animals can get annoyed with vehicles if you push boundaries and you don't read the behavior that they're telling you. And she says it looks very close, and it is, Angela. I mean, at the moment they're probably about 8 to 9 feet from the front of the car, but at times today they've been less than 2 feet. One had a good look at Andrew and was about 1.5 feet away from him, and he looked a little scared, I won't lie. He did.
I was scared.
There we go, he was. The lions have that amazing way of sort of looking through you, that 1,000-yard stare. But they do and can get annoyed, Angela. But as you can see, these two ladies are very relaxed and completely almost ignoring our presence. And obviously we try our best to be as little interference as possible when we are following them. Oh, she heard something. Or smelt something. The wind is coming right down towards her. Still an incredibly still evening with this wind. I'm not even hearing any of the nocturnal bird species, the little owlets and owls and nightjars.
Ryan, right? We'll have a bumper. A bumper too number. Damn, nice. Some nice down there.
Hi, Daniel. Welcome on the Sunset Safari, Daniel. Daniel would like to know what is the most rare animal I've seen since starting these live safari drives. Daniel, it would possibly be, well, in this area, the most rare animal I've seen is a serval cat, which is one of the small cats, and as far as I know, only in the whole history of the live drives, there's only been one other one seen, and it was dead, killed by a female leopard called Shadow. But we managed to see a live serval kitten about 2 weeks ago, which I was incredibly excited about. I literally started vibrating in my seat. I was so excited. But that's probably the rarest animal I've seen since I've been doing the live drives. Come on, ladies, let's go look for something to the west. Valerie, welcome. on the Sunset Safari. Valerie would like to know if I've ever seen an altercation between a lion and a leopard where the leopard won. Never with adults, Valerie. I've seen, not between adult lions and adult leopards, but I have seen a male leopard kill lion cubs that were left in a thicket to be left hidden in a thicket, and a male leopard happened to find them, and he killed all 3 of the cubs. That is the only time I've seen the leopard sort of get one up on the lions. With 2 adults, even in a single adult lion is so much stronger than even the biggest male leopard. I've personally never seen an altercation where a leopard has won. Don't like where they're looking. Oh, thank goodness. Hi, Jeannie. Welcome on the Sunset Safari. Jeannie would like to know whether a lion can scent or smell human fear. I personally don't believe so, Jeannie. I think they react on body language and movement and mannerisms. They don't react on fear. So if you run away, then therefore they will think that they can eat you. If you stand your ground, then they generally won't try to eat you. They might charge you and stuff, but normally they won't. I don't think they can smell fear at all. To be honest, I don't think any animals can. I think they read the same way I try to read a lion or elephant's body language, what it's doing. I think they react to how something reacts to them. Sue from North Carolina. Sue is asking what protection I might have if the lions got really irritated and decided to come at me. Well, Sue, I've got protection which is probably not the type of protection you are thinking it would be. My protection is my years in the bush and my experience. If I happen to do something silly and get the lions a bit upset, no, girls, going the wrong way. Oh, they're disappearing off to the south now. That's unfortunate for us. We can't follow them through there. That's out of our Travis area. But, sorry, Sue, back to your question. So what we have for protection against lions is experience. So if they were to get very irritated if we did something silly and they were to attack us, what we would do, if I was in a vehicle, what I would do is I would shout at them and I'd bang the side of the car quite loudly to try deter them. On foot, I would stand still and still shout at them, but I've never felt the need to try to shoot a lion yet, and I don't think I'm going to start now. So So guys, as these lions disappear off to the south of us, it's been a fantastic sunset safari. And thanks very much for joining us. From Andrew and myself here on the Jigger, it's been a great day, and we won the bird competition this morning. So it's been wonderful having all of you on the back of the vehicle with us, and we can't wait to get up and do it again for the sunrise safari tomorrow. So please be sure to join us. If there have been any new viewers, really welcome. We do appreciate it. And all the questions you guys send makes our life a little bit easier, finding things to talk about. So we do appreciate the questions. And so from us here in Jigger, we're going to hand you over to Scott, see what he's been up to for the last few minutes of drive, and we'll catch up with you bright and early on the sunrise safari. Also, just one last thing, we have a new presenter trying out tomorrow, so don't get a fright if you don't see one of your familiar faces on the vehicle. Good night, everyone.
Coucal.
Welcome back, everyone, and it sounds like you've had an absolutely epic sighting of those two lionesses pacing down the road towards you, and I'm so happy about that. And sadly though, the sunset safari has drawn to a close, and as always, so much fun and excitement. As I mentioned earlier, I got a bit carried away with the vultures we saw earlier. I was convinced there was going to be a kill there, but we couldn't find anything. But that's how it goes, and certainly tomorrow morning we'll have a closer look there. There could still be something there that we couldn't find in the thick bush, and I'm hoping a leopard's going to pop out on the sunrise safari. It's been a while, and I think we're overdue for a leopard sighting. Regardless of what we see though, I'm looking forward to it already. And don't forget, Byron's going to be doing his drive tomorrow morning as well as tomorrow afternoon, so be sure to tune in and enjoy what he has to offer. It's always great to see different guide styles and techniques. And from myself and Phil on camera, thanks again, Phil, for your work, and thanks to Nikki and Eugene in Final Control. We'll see you all tomorrow.